So in this lecture we will continue the discussion from the previous lecture about DC to DC converters. So we were actually discussing about the basic step down DC to DC converter, which is also called as buck converter. So in buck converter, the output voltage is less than the input voltage, and we have seen that by applying the voltage second balance equation, which comes from the fact that the average current of the inductor remains constant. Okay, the average current, let us say average current is I0. So that I0, or you can say IL0, not I0. I0 is the output. So let us say IL. This average current is constant. It implies that the average voltage, or you can say the average voltage across the inductor over a switching cycle must be equal to 0. Only then the average current will remain constant, or current will remain constant of the inductor. So therefore, if we integrate this voltage BL, this is actually BL, this is also BL for this period, over a cycle, you can, if you want, you can do like this, and 1 by T. So this is BL for a on time into T on. This is BL for a off time, T off, and the total voltage into time must be equal to 0. Simplifying this in terms of the duty cycle and other parameters, we will get that B0 is equal to D, or B0 by B input equal to T on by T equal to D. And obviously D has to be less than 1 greater than 0. Normally its minimum and maximum value of this D are decided by the operating conditions of the converter, the design parameters, the inductance and capacitance, the ripple parameters. Now since power is constant, as we know, so power P in equal to P output. Okay, now since power is constant, therefore B in into IN must be equal to B0 into I0. So what is the assumption? The assumption is that the system is considered a lossless system. Nice timing. Whenever I take lecture, some call will come. Okay. So the condition is that the system is considered lossless or negligible losses. So for that, P in equal to P output. Otherwise, P in equal to P0 plus P losses. So this is assumed to be close to 0, and therefore we can say that for a lossless system, P in is always equal to P0, and therefore B in into I in must be equal to B0 into I0, which means I0 by IN must be equal to B in by B0, and hence this is 1 by D. So you can see here it's like a transformer, DC transformer you can say. In case of transformer, primary side B1 into I1 is equal to secondary side B2 into I2. The same thing is true here. In fact, this principle is always true for any device because energy remains, power remains constant. So it's like a DC transformer where you transform V in to V0 and I into I0 such that B in into IN equal to V0 into I0. Now you may ask that, well, this is for continuous conduction mode where the current is always flowing into the circuit. What about the discontinuous mode of operation? So for a discontinuous mode of operation, we have to consider the other possibility, which is shown here. If you see in the circuit here, in this waveform, circuit is same, but we have different conditions. So current becomes zero at this point. You can see here, this point. And therefore, it remains zero for this period until the positive voltage is applied. That is B in minus B0. So in this case, B0 is less than B in, as we have seen. So therefore, B in minus V0 is greater than 0. So this is a positive voltage, and therefore the current rises here, and during the negative voltage here, the current drops. But either the voltage is large negative or off period is more than on period, the current becomes zero before the positive pulse is applied again, or positive voltage comes again. So for this period it remains zero, and this is called discontinuous period or discontinuous duration. Actually, discontinuous mode is not required for DC to DC converters in microgrid applications, but it is required for the DC regulated supplies where there is a large variation in the input voltage. Okay, so here the focus is not to design the discontinuous mode DC to DC converter. We are mostly operating these converters into continuous mode. But we will understand first one circuit, and then you can extend this analysis for other circuit. And we will make sure that the converter does not go into the discontinuous mode. So what is the condition? The condition is that at least this current should be zero at this point. It is always greater than zero at this point, but it could be minimum zero, so that there is no discontinuous period. So for that, what is the condition? Obviously, for the on period, this is the condition that P L di by dt, this is the peak value of IL. Okay, this is the peak value, this point. So let us call it IL peak. So this IL peak happens in a period of T on time. So what is the rate of change of current? Is IL peak by T on. So this term is actually di by dt. So L di by dt is the voltage drop across the inductance. And as we know that during the on time, the voltage across the inductor is B in minus B0. So B in minus B0. So therefore, this is equal to B in minus B0. And also, the I average for this condition is nothing but the area of this curve. Okay, is the area of this curve. Of this triangle. So area of this triangle is half into the base, that is Ts, this is the base, Ts from here to here, into the height, that is IL peak. So half into base into height. So half into Ts into IL peak, and divide by 1 by Ts because we want the average value of this current. So 1 by Ts. Ts will go away. Therefore, the IL average is nothing but half IL peak. This value. This is IL average. Now we will replace IL peak from this expression. So this, we will replace this IL peak from this one, which is nothing but B in minus B0 here into T on divided by L, this one. We multiply and divide by Ts both the sides. What do we get? We will get this as a duty cycle, this term as a duty cycle, T on by Ts. So T on by Ts becomes D, and Ts is extra here. This Ts is extra here. Okay, this is brought here into Bn minus B0. Third term is here, this one, by L, and 2 comes from this. So dTs into Bn minus B0 in bracket divided by 2L. This is the IL bound. Bound means this should be the minimum current, IL average, or IL wound, which means this should be the minimum average current that must flow to maintain the continuity of the current, or to maintain the continuous operation of the converter. Okay, therefore we have to choose these parameters very carefully, particularly the D, either D or Ts, or the Bn minus B0, the selection of the gain, and the L inductance. All these parameters will decide that what must be the limiting conditions for, or the minimum current that must be flowing into the inductor to maintain the continuous operation of the inductor. So actually the correct way is this, that it should be greater or equal to this. If it is less than this, then it will go into the discontinuous operation mode.
Excuse me, sir, can you please make it slightly bigger?
Which slide?
Yeah.
It's not visible? It's almost full screen.
Okay.
Should I make it, it's not visible to, you are seeing on the computer or you are seeing on the mobile?
In computer only, laptop.
Acha, because the whole screen is less, huh?
Yes, sir, slightly if you could make it slightly bigger.
Let me see whether
so if we zoom in the extra wide portion, we can.
Acha, okay, 1 minute. Let me see whether I can change the layout, which is better. This layout is now, let me see. How do you see now?
Sir, actually layout will not change anything for us.
Oh, not in anything. Acha, okay.
Yes, that extra white space is there on the right side. So
okay.
If we can zoom in towards the left.
Okay, let me see whether I can zoom it. Now?
Yes, it's much bigger.
Now
yeah, it's better.
How about you, Ajbal?
Now it is okay? All right.
Yes, it's better, sir. Thank you.
Fine. This IL wound should be this value to maintain this DC converter. If it is less than this, then problem will come. Okay, so it should be greater than or equal to this value. To maintain the continuity, it must be greater or equal to this. And if it is less than this, then it is a discontinuous mode. So if IL wound is less than dTs B in minus B0 by 2L, then the converter will operate in a discontinuous mode. So while designing these DC to DC converter, we must make sure that we are in a continuous mode for most of the applications. Okay. All right. So let us go for the next topology, which is most commonly used in these applications, that is called boost converter or step up converter. Now in the step up converter, obviously the output voltage is more than the input voltage. So B0 for this converter is greater than equal to B in. Okay, this is the condition for designing the boost converter. What is the circuit description? This is generic boost converter where we have a inductance on the input side, and then we have a switch, then we have a diode. If you compare the previous circuit, the switch was here, diode was here, and inductor was here. So inductor has now taken the position in the input side, and switch has come here, from here to here. The diode has gone from this to this side. This topology is called as boost converter or step up converter. Output load is shown by RL with the voltage B0. The polarity is positive here, and current I0 therefore flows from plus to minus. This is the input voltage which comes from the PB. It may come from the DC link or storage DC link or any other DC source, maybe fuel cell and other applications. The concept is same. We have to apply the voltage second balance equation to emphasize the fact that the average current across the inductor remains constant for a one switching time for steady state operation of this converter. So during the on period, the switch is closed, and you see this is, I have shown by a short circuit here, and therefore current flows into the input side. The output current flows, but it comes from the availability of charge across the capacitance. However, this current has no relationship with this current when switch is on. So the voltage applied across inductor during on condition is B in. Okay, so this is given here that BL is B in for period of T on, for T on duration, and this is for T off duration. The voltage across the inductance is B in minus B0. You can see when it is off, then the switch is off here. So this is the off condition, the switch is off, and the energy flows continuously from this to this direction. Okay, and here. That the voltage across the inductor is therefore B in, this is B in, this is B0. So B in minus B0. This is B in minus B0. This is the voltage across the inductor. And then it is very simple to apply the voltage second equation to find out the relationship between the voltages and the duty cycle. Now this waveform for the voltage and current is shown in this figure. You can see here that for period T on, the voltage is B in, which is positive, therefore the current rises from this to this point, you can see, and when it goes to this point, the voltage is negative, the switch is turned off, and therefore the current flows through diode to the capacitance as well as to resistance. And in this period the current drops. So current increases and the current drops, giving the average component of current I0. I have not plotted here, but you can plot it here. This is I0 or IL average. Alright, so applying this concept to the voltage second equation, voltage when this is on, this is the voltage when it is off. So we can apply this equation, this balance here, B in into T on plus B in minus B0 into T off. So this is the voltage BL during the off conditions, this is BL during the on conditions. 1 by Ts is the average component of that. So this leads to B in is common here between this and this. So this becomes B in into T on plus T off, okay, then equal to B0 into T off. So take voltage on one side, B0 by B input equal to therefore Ts by T off, and this becomes 1 by 1 minus D, because we can express T off in terms of the D and Ts. So T off is nothing but, remember this T on is nothing but D into Ts, and T off is nothing but 1 minus D into Ts. Okay, so using these expressions we can simplify B0 by B in to 1 by 1 minus T. So this is the expression for the gain, and again we apply the constant power equation, that B in equal to P0, and therefore I0 by I in is P in by V0 equal to 1 minus T. So now 1 minus T will come in the numerator. So there is a gain for voltage, but there is a reduction of current. As you can see from this, that when D is equal to, let us say, what could be the minimum value of D? It cannot be 0 because of discontinuous operational mode. So when D is equal to, let us say 0.2, then the gain is 1 by 1 minus 0.2 means 1 by 0.8, which is greater than 1. And similarly, when the D is very high, let us say close to 1, let us say 0.8, then V0 y B in is, sorry, it's come up, 1 by how much is 0.2, which is 5 greater than, far greater than 1. So you see here the minimum gain for voltage is 1, okay, and the maximum gain could be infinity as per the theoretical calculation, but it could be far more, maybe 5 times, 10 times, depending upon the design of this converter. Accordingly, the current gain becomes less because B into I is constant. Now we can extend this concept to another topology which is called as buck boost converter. Okay, it's not very difficult for you to apply these two concepts to make buck boost converter. If you ask anyone that from these two discussions, the buck converter and boost converter, can we make buck boost converter? The answer is yes. If we cascade these two circuits, then we can make the buck boost DC to DC converter. Okay, how? Because we know at the first stage the gain is D, if you remember. Now for the next stage gain is 1 minus D, so if I cascade them I will get this gain. Okay, and this gain is definitely moves around 1. Could be less than 1, it could be greater than 1. And therefore this performs the operation of the buck boost converter. But cascading is not a good idea because it will have more number of components. So just cascading, theoretically it looks fine, but when you design it, it is too complicated. Therefore, there are other topologies, more simpler topologies with less number of circuits, which gives the advantage of the buck boost conversion. So one of the most generic and basic topology is this shown in this figure. Okay, so you can see here that this circuit performs the operation of the buck boost conversion. However, it has a problem of giving the polarity which is opposite, which is negative. For example, if you apply a load here, this RL, then you will get a negative voltage if you measure from this side. Okay, but if you measure from this side, you will get a positive voltage. Since our convention is that this is the ground line actually, or zero potential line, zero potential point, this is higher potential point. So if I use this convention, then I will get the negative voltage across the load resistance RL. So polarity is the problem. It's not a problem as far as there is a passive load, but if we are particular about this polarity, then this polarity is negative here. This should be the diode. So if you compare this buck topology and this topology, the only difference is the diodes. So obviously when the switch is closed, then what do you see? That current builds up into the inductance. So this is the building of current, and this becomes positive terminal out of that, it becomes negative terminal out of that. And once switch is off, the current rises into this particular part, T on part. And voltage across the inductor is B in. So this is B in. Okay, so B in voltage is applied for duration of T on. Now when the switch is opened, then due to the inertia of current into the inductance, it continues to flow in this direction. You can see it here, this direction. And therefore, by virtue of this flow, what happens? This becomes plus, this becomes minus. Okay, this point becomes plus, this becomes minus, because current is flowing from this two direction, hence the capacitor is charged from this to this direction. So this plate becomes plus, this becomes minus. It is because of that the polarity of the output voltage is negative. Clear? So you can also see it here. During this period, T off period, the voltage applied across the inductor is how much? Minus B0. If I take this polarity as a positive, so basically we apply minus B0. So minus B0 comes here. So therefore, during the on period, the voltage is B in, and during the off period, the voltage is minus B0. And based on that, we apply these conditions to voltage time equation, and we can see that during on period BL into T, during off period BL into T, total divided by 1 by Ts must be equal to 0. That leads to B in into T on plus minus B0 into T off must be equal to 0. That further leads to B in into T on plus minus B0 into 1 minus dTs. So because T off we can write in terms of the 1 minus D into Ts. Okay, and simplify for V0 by B in, then we will get this term as dy 1 minus d, which is same gain as we have said that if we cascade the buck converter and boost converter, we will get the gain of dy 1 minus d. So gain is same, but the polarity of V0 is negative. If we cascade the buck and boost converter as such, we will get a positive polarity. But here with the minimum number of components, we are getting a negative polarity. However, the gain value is same. The gain value is same. So this is the value of B0 by B in d by 1 minus d, and this is therefore I0 by I in, just opposite of that because power remains constant, 1 minus d by d. This for any variation of d from let us say 0.2 to let us say 0.8. So you can work out what is B0 by B in case of when d is equal to let us say 0.2, then it becomes 0.2 by 0.8, which is nothing but how much? 1 by 4. So 0.25. Therefore, this is a like buck mode. And if this duty cycle is let us say 0.8, then it becomes here 0.8 by 0.2. It becomes 4. So this is a boost mode. Okay, and at t is equal to 0.5, it is just a unity gain. So B0 by B in at d is equal to 0.5, it just becomes 1. So it is acting actually step down, step up, and unity gain DC to DC converter. Well, only drawback is here that the output voltage is negative. Okay, a similar converter is designed by Cuck. Some people call it Chook converter, some people call it Cuck converter. So it is your choice. People use different name or different pronunciation for this particular scientist name, Cuck. This is similar to boost converter. Okay, even the output is also negative, but it has an advantage that the ripples in the inductors are quite less. So this gives the advantage of the ripple free current. So this particular converter I will talk in the next class, and then we will see how the polarity issue is overcome by another converter called Sepik converter, and then Zeta converter, which can also be used in the buck boost converter to transfer the energy in both directions. That is called bidirectional converters, and they are ideally suited for microgrid systems employing the DC to DC converters. So I'll stop here. I will see you in the next class.